Hey everyone, welcome to the brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. Once again, coming from SpeedWeed Studios, the joint at SpeedWeed Studios. I want to thank SpeedWeed for letting us go here, sponsoring us. They have the best marijuana you can smoke, and they deliver it right to you. They have edibles, they have CBD, they have CBD sex lube, THC sex lube, whatever you need, they will take care of you. Use the code ROASTED for $10 off, $100 or more. Gino is a great guy. The guy's like, I mean, he's like the nicest guy ever, and they're good people. So we're here, and it's been obviously we got Mayhem here, we got Weendawg, we got Sheena Starr calling in pretty soon. Sheena Starr was she's the bare-knuckle boxing woman who wore the Hillary Clinton is a cunt shirt during her fight, and she's got another bare-knuckle boxing thing coming up. This girl's she's a character. You're gonna like her. I just got back from Vegas, and I had one of the craziest weeks. So I go to Vegas, I'm headlining the Laugh Factory all week, 2 shows a night, which was awesome. And then Mike Pyle hits me up, and he's like, hey man, I'm gonna train you all week. I was like, really? I was like, yeah man. And he's like, I won't even charge you. This will just be for you, all the things that you give back to the kids, and we're friends, and all the free. I'm like, great, right? So I've never had better instruction in my life. I mean, just like, he's teaching me how to punch, because I either take boxing or wrestling, but I don't know how to actually like merge it, kind of. And he's teaching me better stance, how to turn on my hooks, just like awesome. We're doing an hour and a half minutes, and I'm in this gym in Syndicate, and you could see like Mama's boy Kelvin Tiller there, and a bunch of fighters, and this guy AJ something. All these people are fighting there. Roxanne Modafferi. So then all of a sudden he's like, hey, guess what? Saturday we're sparring, and I'm like, ha ha ha, yeah, okay. But then he's like serious about it. I'm like, dude, after the third day, I'm like, I can't. My body can't move. Like, he's like, no, dude. He's like, well, then he starts getting really kind of weird about it. He's like, we're doing press. You have press on Friday. You have weigh-ins. I'm like he's like, good luck on your fight. Blah blah blah. Like, he's really treating it like I actually have a fight. So I'm like, okay, I'll go along with it. I'm like, so I'm writing back like K or great or can't wait, whatever. So I get there, and he's actually. I mean, we're sparring. He's going light, but we're doing MMA sparring. We're doing takedowns and stuff. I'm exhausted after the 4th round. He's telling me what I'm doing wrong, which is like, keep your head, you're too high, this, that roll. So then after like the 5th round, I'm exhausted. And like Gorgeous George from MMA Junkies, my cornerman, and like Jack Jr. So then I turn around, and there's Roxanne Modafferi, right, in like a Batman. It's Halloween, so everyone's dressed up as like different costumes, and she's like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, I can't even move. And everyone has their phones out. I'm like, great. So now there's going to be a video of me getting tossed around by Roxanne all over the internet. So I'm like, all right. So we touch gloves, and she starts like throwing, and not hard, but like I'm like, all right. So I just hit a double leg right away. I just tackle her. But she gets up. I'm like, so then she's like, trying to throw me, so I do like a judo hip toss and tossed her on her head like twice. Not like
you broke her neck.
Not hard. I think I outweigh her by 40 pounds. She didn't know we were doing MMA sparring. She thought we were just doing like straight kickboxing and boxing.
She thought she was Batman.
But so that was I was exhausted afterwards. But that was awesome. So that was my week. Thank you, Mike Pyle and John Wood and Syndicate people. And then the shows went really good. Of course, it was always that one couple there was an Asian girl and her family there, and they just were staring at me the whole time, and I could tell they were not having a good time.
Mm-hmm. You didn't bust your Chinese set?
No. So then I was like, I was trying to make them. I was making jokes here and there. I'm like, oh, you guys are just here to buy the place or something, or yada yada. So then they get up to leave at the end, and they wanted their money back, but they stayed for my they stayed for my whole show. And granted, like 100 people having fun, one person's bad. So then they told the owner we thought it was going to be like Ellen, which is...
Well, I mean, it is a blonde lesbian, so, I mean, it worked.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm like, come on. So then they didn't get their money back.
It was going to be like Ellen.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be... But, like, they didn't say that, like, every comic was too dirty. Like, the opener, the feature, they said to the very, very end. And then wanted their money back. So then we got, like, an email, whatever. But, it's okay.
They were reserving judgment for a later time.
It just sucks because everyone else had a great time, but then that person keeps me up at night.
Yeah, you need to quit with that, bro. I think it's holding your comedy back if you're gonna you're gonna cater to like
No,
the
of course
most
not, but now-
G-rated assholes on earth. You're in Vegas. You're talking about pussies, dicks, and taking a shit.
Of course, but then I'm like, I'm not gonna get booked back here. Like I had a billboard. I never had a billboard before. I had
You got
two
a
billboards.
billboard?
I had two
Nice,
billboards.
bro,
How fucking
nice.
people were hitting me up like that's nothing like having a billboard on Vegas.
That's
Strip.
pretty fucking sweet.
I just wanted the billboard. I wanted that was the best. So that was cool. How was your weekend? What's going on? What would you do?
I mean, it wasn't as fun as pissing off Chinese people, but I mean, yeah, it was good. I went to a haunted house. I got to give a shout out to those people. The 17th Door in Fullerton. It's like this crazy. I don't want to ruin it for people that haven't gone to it because it's a piece of art. I give it a 5 out of 7, a masterpiece.
Okay.
It was awesome because it was just like crazy shit after crazy shit, just like a nice little narrative. Like, I can't, I don't know. I can't really, I don't want to fuck it up for people if they decide to go, but I'll just tell you, like, there were some bugs involved, cockroaches.
Yeah.
So they're putting cockroaches on you. I don't know. There's something wrong with my fear complex. Like I can't get afraid of things. So I was just basically
You weren't even afraid of
cracking
jail.
up. Yeah. And then that was the thing is the whole narrative of the haunted house is like they lock you up and put you in prison. I was like, I'm not scared of this shit at all. Like that. I had COs way tougher than you, and what else? I mean, I don't want to ruin it again, but like, man, there was like a fucking terrifying moment where they like locked you up in this kind of like latex like grate that came down over you, right? And they're like, stand still. And they're like, you stand still and they lock you in there. And then they put, it looks like a sheet coming down over top of you and suffocate your ass. Yeah, like to the point where I was like, they're fucking waterboarding me, man.
No way.
Yeah, they're waterboarding
You had like
me.
flashbacks or?
Yeah. I felt like, it got post-traumatic stress disorder kicking in.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was pretty bad. I love Halloween, man.
By the way,
I haven't seen Halloween in 2 years, bro.
Oh, wow.
I know, yeah. I haven't seen Halloween or Christmas or my birthday.
They don't have Halloween in jail? They celebrate any?
Yeah. Well, there's some pruno. Some guys grow some pruno in the toilet and then like pass it around. But I wasn't into all that.
But do they have like last Christmas?
Yeah, we dress up as fucking fairies and suck each other's dicks. What do you think, bro?
No, but do you guys celebrate Christmas at all in jail?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I gave cookies to everybody and was like hopping around. And then I wouldn't go back in my cell when they told me to. I was just like, we wish you a Merry Christmas. And the cops were like amassing outside with the damn sticks and like staring at me through the mod door. And I'm just like stripping down and putting butter all over my body. Like, come on in.
No,
Everybody's cracking up.
Really?
Yeah.
You were putting butter on your body?
Yeah, just in case they're going to grab me, I could just wiggle out like a little piggy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So that way if the cops grab you, they have to get butter?
Come on, bro. I got to share all my techniques with you.
But you don't think that like you wanted to get out of jail?
Bro, I was greased up like St. Pierre. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, I'm ready to do it.
But is that why?
But it was mostly for the gag because the cops knew me. They knew I was just fucking around.
Okay, so that didn't add to your sentence, though.
New Year's, I did it again, though.
The butter?
They were pissed. Yeah.
Were you naked?
Yeah. I kept my little boxer shorts on.
Oh, okay.
Just in case. You don't want to get grabbed in that.
But weren't you worried about this going to add to your sentence at all?
Yeah, for sure. That's why I went back to my cell after a while. But I just wanted the cops to know and the criminals to know, hey man, I'm in here with you guys. I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation.
By the way, I got to say, so, you always kept telling me from jail when you were calling me, when I got out of here, I want to help coach. So
Yeah.
we had practice at my place, because in my backyard, we have a wrestling room, and I was teaching, and then you drove up, and you did great, man. Because I didn't know.
I love those little guys.
I didn't know your wrestling background. Like,
Yeah.
I knew that your jiu-jitsu was like your second-degree black belt and stuff, but I knew like you had some high school wrestling.
Yeah.
But
well, the interesting thing is, in ninth grade, I wrestled, but then I quit because I wasn't really like filled into my body yet, and I was like, man, this wrestling outfit's gay. Yeah. Like I totally like thought it was too homoerotic. Maybe that says more about me
no,
than
it
the
doesn't.
wrestling
We actually
outfit.
changed the uniforms now.
Really?
It's up to the coaches. Now it's MMA shorts.
That's what I'm saying.
And like tank tops.
Or because if I was more physically developed, I probably wouldn't have had no deal with it.
I'm like, why?
But when I was 14, I was like skinny in the wrong places and too tall and I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin, let alone
1000%.
a little little skinny you know what I mean? If I could have wrestled in shorts and a rash guard, maybe, you know.
No, my program has picked up so much since up to the coaches to decide. I'm like, why as a coach will you not? They're like, well, some coaches are like, well, we have the kids decide on. I'm like, no way. Because the
kids decide?
Those kids are idiots. Those kids are already there. We want the kids that aren't there to join the team.
Yeah.
That's why I always leave the door open during practice. So the kids will walk by and go, what's going on in here? You know, which was actually last year we had a parent that was like going crazy during our practice. And then we had to ban him from practice.
Yeah.
Because he was.
Wait. When you say going crazy, what level of crazy are we talking about, bro?
Well, his kid was just getting hurt and he was yelling at the coaches. Oh. But his kid really wasn't getting hurt.
His kid was just dramatic.
Very dramatic.
We had a dude like that on the jiu-jitsu team a while back named Tex. This guy he just like wizarded me to go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it was like, whoa, dude, like, shut up. And eventually, at first we'd be nervous, but then like, eventually we'd just like grind his face while he was yodeling in our arm.
Well, the kid was fine, but it was when the father was there, the kid was 25 times worse. Like the father's flipping out made the kid worse. So
there's some type of like, I know I've seen this before. Like, for instance, there was this guy, I remember Tony, that like, he would whine about everything. And I could like one time I looked in his eyes and I could just see him as a little kid getting attention from his mom because he was injured. So every day he would talk about, oh, this injury and this, and then like the fighter would be like, I don't care. Like, bro, like I got plenty of injuries I ain't bitching about right now. And that's kind of the mentality you have to do a tough sport like that.
The best,
and then the best, and you know, man, my dad, I don't know, man. I just crack up when I see like parents like coddle their kids. Because my dad would just look at me while I was bawling and just stare me down until I stopped crying. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess, you know, I remember that.
But then he would smack you.
Nah, I had to really fuck up to get some physical activity like my dad's popping me. I had to really fuck up.
The best parenting I've ever seen, one of the best parenting, is when we had a kid whose father was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu or black belt or something, and he would come help out, but he never spoke. That's when he just sat in the corner the first 3 weeks, and he was like, hey, man, I like what you're teaching. And that's when I knew the guy actually knew his stuff. The worst is when a guy has like 3 weeks of wrestling practice and then wants to tell you
that it's weird, the balance where a guy who has only done a little bit always wants to just jabber jaw about everything
in every aspect, in comedy and this and in life. But the kid quit. The kid lost and quit, and the father kept coming to practice.
Wow.
And I go, what happened? Because he was sort of like our assistant. He kind of helped out. I go, what about your son? He's like, I don't know. He's like, but I can't show him that it's okay to quit once things go rough. And I was like, and the kid eventually came back, and you know that to me that was the best parenting. I was like, well, that's good parenting right there. But back to you, it was interesting because when I was coaching with you, you knew exactly what to tell these kids, like things that I was kind of missing, and like you were like, oh no, like on the single, like when you want to have your head up and really, and I'm like things that I just was like, oh shit, like Mayhem knows exactly what to tell.
Also, too, I think that might have something to do with like I'm probably stuck at their age in my head a little more than you are. Like you've already moved on to the having kids age. I don't know. I feel like I'm always 13. I forget that I'm a big scary dude. I just feel like I'm like a little kid, like, hey everybody, da 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 da. And then like when people start looking at me crazy, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm a grown ass man. You know, I just feel like because the lifestyle I chose, where I went, like everyone went to college, and I went to the gym, and I just played with my friends on the mat for my whole life, and never really left that area. And then I would take breaths of air to go look on the internet and play video. I've grown up. Look, I dated a girl with a kid, right? Kid was 9. I started. It turned into like I was just friends with this kid, and me and the girl were just like hanging out. Like it was, I was more.
You're a giant kid.
Yeah, it's true. I have some adult elements, but man, I'm playful. I like to have fun, and like, I don't know.
But even when the kids were getting frustrated, like you were just like, no, it's okay, and like super cool. And then when the kid fell on his head, you started laughing.
Yeah,
that was like.
Well, I checked to see if he was knocked out first. I was like, oh, I thought if he was injured, I would have been like a different attitude. But then because most kids like they respond to the energy you give them, right? If he busts his ass and you go, oh my God, are you okay? Then he like it tells him. Oh, act hurt.
Right.
But if you laugh and then kind of like, stand up, shake it off. What about when the kid get kicked in the nuts so hard?
Oh, my God.
He got kicked in the nuts pretty solid. But I was like, come on, man. They're not that big yet. Jesus Christ.
I was like, you're not going to need him for a couple years. This kid has a mustache.
Yeah,
he's 13 years old.
He's a little baby man.
And he's going to be like, he's just a grown man in a kid, in like a kid body. Yeah. But even that, he's like, I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, man, someone, I got kicked in the dick. And I was like, normally you don't hear that from a 13-year-old. And I was like, it was like a man telling me like, all right, man, well, hang in there, you know, but it was super. It was anyway. The point is, it was really fun coaching with you, man. It was, and I feel like the kids really liked it. I was hoping they didn't go home and Google you.
Yeah, me too. But I saw somebody hated on me on the internet. Like,
no, it was a fighter actually.
I know. What a dork.
Actually texted.
What a snitch.
It's a friend of mine.
I know.
And
I know him too.
And I texted him and I said, hey, man. I said, Mayhem's trying to get his life together. I go, we weren't coaching at the school. We're coaching at my house. The parents knew who you were anyway, because the parents worked with you on Bully Beatdown, some of them. Yeah. The other one's from the kids from Chechnya, who's like running from the country. It was okay. It was pretty. It was pretty cleared.
That Chechnyan kid's on some terrorist watch lists already.
Well, no, not that, but he's running from terrorists.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the family.
Even better.
But I said to him, I go, why would you say that?
And that was a weird like hater comment.
He texted me back apologizing.
Oh,
you know. So, but I was a little bit. But I'm telling you though, it was cool having you there, man.
It was fun. It was super fun. I was so happy, and I've been thinking about that forever. You know what I mean? I'm sitting in the box, like going, man, when I get out of here, when I coach those little kids again, that's gonna be the best. And man, it was like super fulfilling.
Well, there are certain things that are like just. Like my wife's always like, why do you got to coach these kids? You're driving an hour, you're not getting paid, blah, blah, blah. I go, it really is like therapy to me. Like it, and honestly, like being a role model for kids, as corny as this sounds, makes me a better person.
It's one of those things that unless you do it, you can't really understand, because on the surface, yeah, it's like, whoa, that's a lot of effort to put into a quote unquote hobby. But like wrestling, fighting, martial arts is a lifestyle. And, you know, look, we had coaches pass down knowledge, and it's not just knowledge about wrestling. It's like the other little subtle things like that you pick up from being around a role model like that, who cares about your success and who cares about what you're doing with your life. You know, because like, look, if you told me about the kid messing up with his math. You know, look, that is a big motivator for him to get things back together, you know, to get his math scores up. And this is like an overall net positive for both of you. Whoever you're helping, it reflects back on you. It helps you too. So you can keep your life on track by helping others. You know, that's the biggest thing that I lost when I was going through my whole dark period, where I just started caring only about me and only about how I feel. And then it became this hedonistic like hellhole I was stuck in, where I couldn't find any happiness because I wasn't never helping nobody. Then once I had some fighters and was starting to I started to climb back out of that. But the minute that I like lost that, once again, I spiraled dark, you know, and I'm kind of making my mission now is to spread that message, is to, you know, if you need some help, don't be too proud to get it. Like, you can build up out of that. And, you know, I'm on Twitter. I message you guys back on Twitter, Facebook. And if I ever get my Instagram back, I'll do it there too, where I've already been guiding some people out of some dark spots. And, you know, on the surface, that's like, what? It seems selfless, but in a way it's selfish, because I'm like, you know, I'm getting some out of it too. I'm like, pulling my friends up instead of just worrying about myself, and it helps my mental health like completely. It makes me feel worth something instead of feeling like worthless, where I just like can go fade into oblivion and just attack myself with substances that make me feel good for a moment, It's like a real feel good. It's like a grown up feel good instead of like this like instantaneous, you know, like hit it and quit it.
Yeah, well, no, 1,000%. It was funny though, because the other day in practice, I was like, the kids were just not listening. You know, it's just I'm just, you know, it's one thing when I have the kids in private. It's like 4 kids that want to be there.
Yeah.
It's another thing when you have 20 kids and like some of the kids. And I was like, listen, guys. My wife doesn't want me here. I drive an hour to get here. I pay for a nanny. Please, like, don't make me regret these choices. I was like, I'm just like flat out. I don't know if they've ever had a teacher tell them that.
Yeah.
Just straight.
Like, guys, I'm hanging on by a thread here.
Yeah, just straight honesty. But I'll tell you, there was a kid that used to cry every day in practice. I mean, 5-6 times in practice.
And then that's an impressive amount of crying.
And I tell the rep for his match, I go, just so you know, he's about to cry in about. It was a young rep. It was like the guy was like 22, 20, and we look over. The kid was already crying, right? So I go over to him like, "Hey, man, you know, listen, you're here. I don't care if you win. Just try your hardest." And the kid
was he crying? He's so stressed out, huh?
Stressed. He was scared. His parents were just like, I mean, his dad was like making him do this.
I've seen pro fighters like cry before a fight.
Really?
Throw up and like be like, I'm just like, whoa. Like, you know, nerves affect different people in different ways, you know?
So then they like fast forward to like 3 months, the kid was like getting a takedown and actually winning.
Nice.
And then I'm on the side and I start tearing up.
Nice.
And my wife's like, "Are you crying right now?"
There's no crying in wrestling.
She's like, "You didn't even cry at our wedding." I go, "This is way more."
Yeah.
Like, this is affecting me. Our wedding. Yeah. We can always get divorced. This kid's never gonna get another takedown. No,
never get another takedown.
So Weendawg, how the hell are you, man?
Actually, when I was younger, I got kicked in the balls so hard that my balls stopped developing like afterwards.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you got baby balls right now? Is that what you're admitting to right now on the air? Bro, that was a bold statement.
It's just like a scientific, you know, anomaly.
Yeah.
And I had my balls removed through surgery later on when I was 13. But they put them back.
Why'd they remove your balls?
Because I got kicked so hard that it torsioned my testicles.
Who kicked you in the balls?
Bro.
I can't remember. Just some kid when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the doctor removed my balls and examined them and untorsioned them and put them back.
Okay.
Oh, they're torsioned. I got that before. Twisted up nutsack guy kick.
Very painful.
Well, damn.
So besides that, how now you're?
Hey, besides that, we're just gonna gloss right over. This man just admitted to having his balls removed and put back on.
You don't understand Weendawg. This guy, he started off as our sound guy, and it turned into when we met him, he was a virgin. He lost his virginity by a girl got into a car accident with him, and then she was like in a daze. She was like 40, and he slept with her after the accident.
Do what you gotta do, Ween.
Yeah. So since then, he now has a girlfriend, same girlfriend.
Yeah,
but he was into this like
this 40-year-old lady.
He was into this crazy lifestyle where one girl he took home wanted a gun to her head during sex, so he purchased a rifle online.
Rifle, damn, bro.
Right?
You must be long stroking.
So I can't.
This dude's packing,
this
man.
dude's next level.
There's a girl who shot up with heroin right before I made love to her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I might have, allegedly made love to a woman who was unconscious.
Oh, okay. Well, let's take take that part out of this.
Yeah,
okay.
Leave it in. Leave it in. This is getting dark.
I'll let you leave it in because this is documentation for when I want to look back at these podcasts when I'm older. I want to be reminded that I did that.
I'm never looking back at this shit.
Jesus all right. So now you're in film school and you have the same girlfriend, but for a while you were just doing anal with her, right?
Yeah, like we sort of took her virginity through anal.
Yes.
That's just Mormon sex, you know.
Okay.
Oh well, then
saving the vagina.
Now,
but Jesus.
Has she moved out of her parents' house?
No.
So you're doing anal?
I'm trying to move into her parents' house.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's nice.
Bruh. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
This guy's got a plan. You got to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got an accurate plan going on. It's pretty interesting.
Well, right now we're just like in this anal blasting phase.
Wait.
Yeah. I mean, standard. Sounds standard.
You've gone through that phase too?
Yeah. Well, only like I said with Mormon chicks, wanted to save the vagina for Joseph.
How many
Smith.
Mormon chicks have you had?
Just like a couple at least. I don't know. Some are undercover Mormons.
Okay.
But at the same time, for some reason, the religious faction thinks the anus isn't that bad.
We were doing
I'm
so
pretty
well
sure
with
there's
helping
something
kids.
about sodomy.
All right, so what's going on in
We
your
got to
life?
make sure this podcast is rated MA LF.
So what's going on with you, Weendawg?
Well, because I realized I've been doing anal blasting for a long time now, for a few years, since I was 18, 17.
Yeah.
I noticed it's very much like jiu-jitsu. You start off with jiu-jitsu, you're very scared at first, you're very intimidated, you might get hurt.
Right.
And just keep going, keep showing up to practice, keep finger blasting, and eventually, I'm talking about my anus.
And if you keep going,
your anus.
Yeah, I'm talking about my anus.
Oh, the girl's been fingering you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this girl, you took her.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So you
know what? I like this turn. It really changed my mind about the whole thing. I was totally painted it wrong. Now, where does a rifle fit into this thing? Is this the same
Well, I wanted
girl?
to become a hunter, and then I was having sex with this girl who she wanted to be tortured during sex. She started with hold a knife up to my throat while you bang me. I got a butcher knife and machete, whatever it was. And then I said, I just got a gun. Want me to hold a gun up to your head? And she said, oh yeah, that'd be hot. But since I wanted to become a hunter, I bought a rifle.
Right.
And also rifles are a lot cheaper, than handguns.
Yeah. Okay. So since all right. So now the girls, you took her virginity, and now she's anal blasting you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I anal blast myself.
Okay. Somebody wants to know what anal blasting is.
It's like finger blasting.
Gage wants to know.
It's like finger blasting.
Yeah.
But with
so how many fingers are up to? And is this a big lady or a small lady?
She's
what kind of hand size? If you're going to compare to my hand, how many fingers would it take for, say my thumb, for instance?
For me, for my butt?
Yeah.
I could probably do, I want to start off with your pinky, Jason. And then I'm going to move to, you got to do the 180. You start with the pinky.
Yeah.
And then you do the 180 to the thumb.
Right.
Because it's almost the same length.
Okay.
But the thumb is a little bit thicker.
So you've been getting anal blasted by this girl?
Yeah, but I do it to myself more than she does it to me.
Why are you putting your finger up your own butt?
Well, it's like jiu-jitsu. Sometimes you got to get like a training dummy to spar with at home,
I mean, the metaphor sticks. Yeah, definitely. So are you going gi or no gi on this?
I think when you first start, like for me, I started with a gi in both anal blasting and jiu-jitsu, but I found that it's not it's not as fun. I don't like having to wash it after every practice.
I mean, be careful. You don't want to get staph infection.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what you've been up to. So we haven't heard from you in 3 months.
Yeah.
You came back to the podcast. You were in film school.
Yeah.
And now you've been getting anal blasted. That's like your update?
Yeah, it's pretty much it, man.
Okay, well, good work, man.
Thank you.
Pound.
Thank you, man.
All right, so let's talk about the Ben Askren fight. Did you watch the Ben Askren fight? All right, so...
went about kind of how I thought it would go, but I thought maybe Ben could hold out, turn it into, he just kept dancing with the devil down there, You know
what's funny?
What's the point?
I thought he had the perfect strategy, which is
did.
Win for 4 minutes on the feet, and he sort of winning, take him down.
Yeah.
But you're right, playing with fire on the ground.
If you're gonna keep it's not like Ben wasn't in shape. It's just that the amount of scrambling that Maia forced on the ground wore him out. He's not used to a guy who can move him around on the ground like that and keep transitioning to this move to that move. And there were so many beautiful jiu-jitsu transitions that Maia hit on there. And there was great defense from Askren. He did a lot of great escapes and whatnot. But look, if you keep dancing with the devil, sometimes she steps on your foot.
Now, do you think that he should have waited till there was 30 seconds left for the takedown? Looking back, because there
were still a couple rounds left, dude, and the tank was getting empty because there's so much scrambling. And even though Ben is a funk wrestler, it's the same thing as once cardiovascular conditioning starts chipping away, okay, whoever is better at how the fight is going is more than likely going to win. If, say, for instance, both guys get tired and one guy's a better kickboxer, okay, and they're on the feet, the guy who's a slightly better kickboxer is going to win because his technique is sharper. Same thing on the ground. So since Askren has great wrestling and a good top control, okay, that's pretty good. But if the fight is both guys are tired and it's becoming a jiu-jitsu match over and over again, then the jiu-jitsu guy is going to have a benefit.
Yeah, of course. It's kind of like a wrestler. People were like, this proves that jiu-jitsu is better than wrestling. No, it doesn't.
Well, in a way, yeah, jiu-jitsu is better at submissions.
If you take away striking. Of course. Take away striking, it's just wrestling.
Let's talk about the striking in that fight. What the fuck?
See, but that's the thing, okay?
It turned into a goddamn backyard boxing match. That shit was sloppy as shit. It's like do you see
But that was the best he's looked. That was the best he's ever looked on the feet, though.
Well, because he never has to use it.
But that's the thing about Ben.
Ben is a phenomenal athlete and beast guy, but the technique on the ground just eventually overcame.
Now, I have a couple different theories on this. Like Ben Askren, there are certain guys that get away with doing all the wrong technique. Everything technically is wrong, but because they're so good at it, they get away with it. So let's say Anderson Silva, hands down. Roy Jones Jr., hands down. You can't see the hands down. You can't see him punching you. Ben Askren was the king of the funk because he was able to do these crazy scrambles that would, as a coach, would drive me insane because he was doing everything wrong, but it would end up with a cradle.
Yeah, I know.
Now, eventually, you get to the age of 33, 34, 35.
And let's not, I know where you're going with this.
Speed goes.
Yeah.
And now
it's harder to do your moves, what you relied on. That too, but also I'd like to add, I'd like to add that after you have a backlog of tape, you have a catalog of all your fights, and what, he got 20-some fights or something like that?
Askren with 20
fights? Yeah. Okay. So now you have a giant library of exactly what you do. And so at this point, and once you got all that notoriety, now everybody just watches the tapes and they know what's your tendencies. So they knee you in the face because they know that your tendency is to take a shot immediately. Or, they know that you're susceptible to this, that, or the other, and then, tap you out from the back. Because he does, I've seen other fights where he turns his back and, escapes by, in a wrestling method.
Right.
And in the jiu-jitsu, we love that. In fact, I heard that back in the day, the old school jiu-jitsu guys didn't even correct wrestlers.
Oh, just to get it?
Yeah, go ahead, keep doing this back escape. We're going to keep rear naked choking you. That's just how it is, Nowadays, things have moved on.
But what I don't get is okay, so he's throwing arm punches, right? Yeah. I mean, literally throwing.
Well, but that's a wrestling thing. That's a lot of guys who've been wrestling since they're little kids. They do these monster arm because it's basically a head club, but with a closed fist.
But Duke Rufus, who's a renowned kickboxing, Rick Rufus, great coaches, wouldn't they? In the gym, and I know Duke, wouldn't they say, listen, turn your hip when you
How you going to unteach something the guy has been doing since he was a baby? How you going to because especially when you're tired, once you're tired, the technique that is most sharpened into your muscles, your muscle memory, that's the one that you're going to do.
But he does that holding the pads. I see him holding the pads.
I know.
He's going like this. And I guess it works. I know, I remember Gerald Mearshart, who was an amazing fighter, says he sparred with Askren 100 rounds and lost 99 of them. And this is a great fighter. This is a guy that just lost to Eric Anders. People thought he won, yada, yada.
Yeah, but he didn't lose to him in a boxing match. This guy is fantastic wrestling. He's just an unreal wrestler. And boxing, just stand-up is a different story.
Do you think Askren was winning the stand-up exchange?
Technically, yeah. Point-wise, probably, maybe.
Damage-wise?
Yeah, damage, because the shots that did get through were heavier.
But if he could land those with just throwing arm punches, imagine what he could do if he actually turned his hip, no?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. And if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. Yeah, so... it's just that. Look, maybe he'll change his game a little bit, but like you said, he's 33.
Well, he's 35. He says that he never really had a passion for MMA. He was just basically good at it. He was
an awesome wrestler. Yeah,
he's got all these different wrestling camps. And this, he said he goes, I'm putting 30 hours a week into this, and that was too much for him. Where other guys that are that's not enough. There's gym rats who. But what I'm saying is now, do you think that a guy like Wonder Boy, we'll put Askren, we'll put Anderson Silva, guys who do things technically wrong but get away with it because they're that talented, versus a guy like Frankie Edgar who does technically everything right?
Yeah, this is apples and oranges. Look, there's some guys who have developed their technique. Look, there's rules, right? And then once you get a baseline, once you develop as a martial artist, you get to a point where you can start bending them, and then you get to another level and you could start breaking the rules, completely doing things that are unconventional, and it benefits you as a martial artist because now you're coming at different angles that people don't expect. You're doing different stuff, that you're doing things that are unorthodox and kind of reinventing the game. you know?
So Askren comes to you, right? He says, Mayhem, I want you to coach me.
All right.
What do you tell him?
Well, for me, I don't know. I would definitely start catering his stand-up around his wrestling and turn those big arm punches into something that could get more takedowns, you know? And I would also start to push him away from doing his head down kind of clip. That's what got him in so much trouble. Once he's on top, his head down kind of like wrestling style passing. Instead, I would have him posture up all the time. And like the school I'm training at now, Joe Murriera, his jiu-jitsu passes are mostly all from a great posture. And sure, let the guy hook a triangle, but if you're in a great posture, the angle for the triangle doesn't work. So, because if you're hanging your head over, the guy can triangle you. The guy can omoplata, like he got caught in that omoplata later. If your head's down, now the attacks, you're giving the guy all the attacks. But yeah, here we go. We can watch and break this down.
And this podcast has come a long way, Adam. Look at that.
Okay, so Ben's coming in. He gets a takedown. Beautiful right there. So right away, posture up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because what's the point? Now, even though the butterfly guard is in, see how Maia turns out to the side. Now, you want to keep your opponent's back flat on the ground. See, look, now he's in a triangle. And maybe, he didn't get it, and he got now he got caught in the omoplata. But what's the point? If he wasn't there to begin with his head down, what? He wouldn't have got caught in this move. He got swept perfectly.
But should his arm not have been there, too?
No, he should immediately posture up, like sit up in a great posture and try to like keep your hips close to his hips to keep his back flat on the mat. If you don't, all the jiu-jitsu guys' moves from the bottom are predicated upon getting onto his hip, getting off to his side. And then look, he turns his back and But
I'm saying like his hand was almost there, so his hand should have been, because wrestlers put their hand on the mat.
Yeah, immediately like bicep control. Put your weight on your haunches, sit back, and then pop your head up. Like
so then he ended up sweeping right here. So he's kind of going for like an inverted triangle, sort of, or what is he? So what should he be doing right here? Just
who?
Askren, raining punches, right?
Well, yeah, but look, I before you like really get into punches, you have to like cement your position. If you're in a position where the jiu-jitsu guy can sweep you, like you don't want to just start bombing on him, because that's when, you putting your weight up to throw a punch down gives him an opportunity to make a scramble.
Right.
And that's how Maia wore him out. By every time Askren started to put the punches, it was like it turned into a scramble. Be it from the bottom, and the way that the beautiful finish, the beautiful sweep that he used at the end, he used that. I guess we're going to see it here.
It was like a heel hook.
Yeah, a heel hook transition. This is something I trained a lot. I'm sure that in some of my fights it's out there that I did that same thing. If the guy would get me down.
So Askren does a beautiful takedown right here, right? So I love that.
That was
good.
Position.
Now, right away, you should posture up.
Yeah, he should back up out of there, and because staying in that half guard position, it leaves you open to a sweep. But yeah, pop right back up and keep bicep control, and then do the old school Tito Ortiz type ground and pound. Now here again, he took him down, but see how Maia was ready with the butterfly guard, swept them back over, and then heel hook to sweep. I think this is the end, right?
Yeah,
okay. So exactly, he swept them right straight into the mount, and then just wore him out with these punches. He put the body triangle.
Should Ben not have belly down, or he should have stayed on his back?
Yeah, he might as well stayed on his back and then kind of pushed back to his guard. But like I said, this is Ben's tactics. He usually gets out like this. But a guy is high level at finishing from the back as Maia. I mean, look, he does it with one arm. I used to always do that to guys in practice too, where I just like, I don't even need my second arm. As long as you have that one arm deep and you got control of his shoulder, you can just like kind of peel it, your forearm digging right into his neck.
This is great, man. You're so technical at this, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've done this since I was a little kid. So, I hope and the weird thing is I'm articulate, and I was like beating my articulation out with like drugs and liquor.
But you read 100 books in jail, right?
Like 200.
Really?
Shit. Yeah. I read a lot of fucking books. Yeah. But listen, the flip side of that is sure I read plenty of books, but I didn't talk pretty much for like a year. Whatever.
I think you've talked enough.
You try to shut the fuck up for 1 year. I dare you.
No.
I double dare you, motherfucker.
For like 1 hour.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So Askren, I mean, now how do you think, because I seriously think the Askren that was undefeated in Bellator, that got kicked out for being too boring. See, here's where I kind of, and I like Ben, so I don't want to diss Ben at all, because I love Ben. He's a friend of mine. But when he wrestled Jordan Burroughs and just got completely annihilated, and everyone's like, well, that's Jordan Burroughs. Yeah, but this is Ben Askren, right? This is like supposedly the best wrestler in MMA.
Yeah, but MMA ain't wrestling.
Of course, well,
you know what I mean?
But I got a little nervous though when I saw that, because let's say you took a guy like, who's the best jiu-jitsu guy in the world? Marcelo Garcia.
Yeah, Garcia,
right?
Yeah.
And then you take Damian Maia, who's the best jiu-jitsu guy in MMA, and they grappled. Yeah. Would it have been as one-sided?
Look, I know, because I was one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in my day, and in MMA, and I remember I went to I could beat everybody in like the regular jiu-jitsu tournaments, but then at the top level, I'd lose by like an advantage.
Right.
I'd lose because while I was doing kickboxing half the time and jiu-jitsu half the time, those guys were doing jiu-jitsu every day.
But would it have been a one-sided? Like Ben got tech-fouled by Burroughs, like 15-0 in the first period.
Yeah. Well, again, that just shows the difference. It's like softball and baseball kind of, because when I'm kicking at you and punching at you, it's kind of easier to set up takedowns.
Right. But what I'm saying though is in a jiu-jitsu tournament, if
likely if they're the same weight, Marcelo gonna win because he does only
he's not gonna annihilate him though, right?
Maybe.
The way that Burroughs annihilated Askren?
It's like apples and pineapples.
Is it really?
Comparing kind of.
Is it?
Yeah, because here's why. Because jiu-jitsu with the punches and kicks is a lot different. Like if I have to worry, I can't do the same sweeps.
But they just wrestled though. I'm saying Askren lost to Burroughs in just wrestling. Yeah. Got 15-0 in the first period.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we take the best jiu-jitsu guy in MMA, which let's say Maia, against, I don't know, who's the best jiu-jitsu guy? Marcelo Garcia. All
right.
Does he get tech-falled in the first period, or is it a lot closer?
Well, I mean, if you know jiu-jitsu, there's no
the equivalent to a tech fall.
The equivalent. You think he gets tapped in the first period?
Yeah, does he get tapped?
Maybe.
Really?
I mean, it's possible. These are just like our pontifications, but I think you're right in a sense.
What I'm saying is, has Askren's wrestling digressed in the 35?
Definitely. Because if Askren has to always also do boxing and kickboxing and wrestling and jiu-jitsu, if he has to do that all the time and Burroughs just exclusively focused on wrestling,
but what I'm saying
it's like a different language.
What I'm saying is when Ben came out of the Olympics,
okay,
it was meaning he was the best guy in the U.S. in wrestling.
Yeah, when was that though? 10 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Is that did a 30-year-old Ben Askren? Because people are saying, well, Askren's overhyped and the UFC shouldn't have got him, or this and that, or he was beating up cans at ONE FC or Bellator. No, he was not. He beat Diego. I think that a 30-year-old Ben Askren, a 28-year-old Ben Askren, it's a different fight against Damian Maia. I think he could have been the champion when he was 28.
Well, what do you mean? Are you surprised at this point? This is what the UFC does. If you talk out against them, they make sure that you have bad matchups. They make you have to play this political game with Dana and whatnot. That's the reality of the situation. At this point, it's kind of like a broken record. We see it over and over and over again. If and I'm sure if he speaks out against the brass up there, then he'll, they'll just erase him from the website.
But I just think that Askren could have been the UFC champion.
Yeah, but that exactly. But they just wait.
I know, but it sucks that all these haters now are like, oh, he was always a bum. Like, dude, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. I know. That's just how the internet works.
Of course,
it's a series of tubes.
Yeah, of course. Did you watch Bellator?
I didn't. I didn't even know it was on, to be honest. The marketing is just missing me. I don't know. I don't get how that's happening.
It's so bad. They have two great events, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. There was two events?
There was two events. None of it was clear. Yeah, Frank Mir fought Roy Nelson on Friday, which no one knew about.
I didn't know anything. What the fuck? I would have totally watched that. How the fuck? And I'm friends with those people. How the hell? And I mean those people by black people.
So Frank Mir won. Roy Nelson, as good as he is, he doesn't throw enough punches per round to win fights anymore. Like he's in every fight.
What happened? Well, how did the fight? Give me the breakdown.
Breakdown was Frank Mir was just putting it on him.
Yeah.
And then landing way more strikes than Roy. Hurt him, but not really
Roy
hurt him.
is like 5'6", and Frank Mir is like a monster of a man.
But Nelson had his head down, was throwing overhand right over and over again. Then in the last 10 seconds of the fight, Nelson lands a beautiful double leg, but the fight's over.
Yeah, 2 legs. What do you mean? Because Mir was probably worn out from whooping his ass for the whole fight.
And Frank Mir had his daughter in his corner, who's like 16 years old, who's supposedly like phenom wrestling champion, jiu-jitsu champion. And Mir's I like Frank Mir. I've always liked Frank Mir. I like Roy Nelson too. Yeah. But Scott Coker said it might be time for Nelson to hang it up. Yeah.
Well, there's worse things that have been done in the world.
Right.
He's had a great career. Everybody loves Big Country. So.
And then the next night, Rory McDonald fought
Diego Lima.
Lima won. It was close though. Some people think that Rory won. It was like a rematch of their first fight, which is also. But there's this other guy that had the best submission. If we could pull this up, because you got to tell me what this is like. This guy's undefeated and he's really good. If we could pull up. By the way, shout out to Beneil Dariush too. Dariush won his fight. Who's awesome. And at like the end, he's like the worst trash talker. They're like, who do you want to fight? He's like, whoever Jesus thinks it's right.
Jesus is our matchmaker?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's like this guy spends like his free time like building churches and like he's like a missionary guy. Sweetest guy ever. Paul Daly beat Sadawad.
I'm more of an ass blasting guy.
Patrick Mix. And we could put Patrick Mix, Isaiah Chapman. Because this dude, Patrick Mix, is undefeated. And I think he's the next big thing. I know I'm coming late in it. But this dude, you got to see this thing. And then
That's what his wife said. Coming late in it.
And then Nick Newell lost.
Decision?
Yeah, he won the first round. But it was funny because I was watching the fight with Earthquake. Earthquake, the comedian.
Yeah.
He's a really funny black comedian. We were backstage, and he's like, man, the guy's got one arm. He's like, you got to be kidding. Man, they got to fight. Man, if you lose to a guy with one arm, it's time to do something else. I'm like, no, he's really good. He's like, man, you got to be. I don't care how good he is. I'll just, like, he was.
You're talking about this guy Mix got one arm?
No, Nick Newell has one arm.
Nick Newell? Oh, yeah.
So it was funny because back in the WSOF days, when, like, Ray Sefo, like, they didn't even realize how funny these cards were. Yeah. They had two brothers fighting each other on the same card. They had a guy with one arm, Nick Newell, and then Matt Hamill, a deaf guy.
Nice.
Like, if I'm just changing the channel, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, but this guy, Patrick Mix, he fought Isaiah Chapman. Gage, if you could bring that up. By the way, thank you. This dude, we have Gage, is a very funny comedian, by the way, awesome. who does our, he works here, and he's a good dude. He's a really good dude. You got to see that. You got to see this. This guy's 11-0, 135, and like, dude, certain guys that I see, and I'm like, this is the next big thing. Obviously, Darian Caldwell, I said was going to be champion one day. He was a national champion.
Bro, he's so damn tall for the weight class, 136 and 5'11". Mix, huh?
Look at this submission right here.
All right.
Chris Weidman, I said was going to be the champion one day. I was right about that. I was right about. I still think. Not Khabib, the other guys from there.
Islam?
No. The guy with the dude who has those. Look at this. So he's got rear naked. So he's got both hooks in, or one hook in, a body lock.
No, he's got a body triangle on him, the same as Maia did on Askren.
Yeah.
And now he's just raining down. He's raining half fury on him.
Yeah, but look at this. Look at this right here.
Dude, this is the move.
Now, what is this? Tell me.
Well, this is a leg lock from the back. This is the same thing I did on Carl Parisian at practice a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah, I told you that story. Look, it's a leg lock. Yeah, that could tear your hamstring right there. Yeah, that's something you can do like when you're a lanky dude and you got that body triangle, because dudes always, when you get a body triangle, a lot of guys will stand up and try to shake you off their back because it's kind of hard to hold your body triangle. But if you go ahead and lock that ankle and just like start peeling it back over his head, I mean, Jane Fonda couldn't even do that move.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Now, why do you never see that though?
Well, because a lot of guys don't. Because a lot of guys, I think, know that that's a danger. You know, they've run into that technique before, so they don't like posture up on all fours. But this guy took the bait. He figured he could shake him off the top. But once you get a body lock like that, it's very dangerous to like posture on all fours like that.
Now, is that a hard move to put in practice because you'll fuck someone's knee up?
Yeah, it's a little dangerous. After I injured people on that, I was like,
fuck.
yeah, because the guy was standing up like that, it already gives you, it's pretty easy to pull your leg back if your leg is bent. But his leg was already kind of straight, so it's easy to just wear it out and like pull it straight up. Yeah.
Is that what Zabit did?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Zabit. I'm like, this guy.
And Aljamain Sterling, they both did it like the same night.
Oh yeah, Aljamain hit that on Cody Stamen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
these things come in
By
like
the way,
waves.
that's 50 Cent in there. Just gave him a bottle of his champagne.
Bellator's bartender
Bottle
now.
full of bub, huh?
Yeah, 50 Cent is he's one of the guys in Bellator now. He's one of the investors. And so his hashtag is always get the strap.
Great. Oh man, what a time to be alive.
I feel like there's a lot more celebrities involved with Bellator than there is with the UFC. Like you have Chris Pratt. Like
Chris Pratt's
at
always
every
there.
Bellator event.
Really?
I feel like they're kind of. They let him in the octagon and stuff.
That's true.
The cage. Like UFC's not gonna let 2 Chainz like.
Oh God.
So
the Kardashians and corner women. Caitlyn Jenner, the corner. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The corner thing.
Oh, by the way, and then Kimbo Slice Jr. won his fight.
Nice.
But he didn't win. He elbowed the guy 9 times to the back of the head, and then they gave him the win.
Wow.
And then they just overturned it.
So like he got to raise his hands that night, and the next day.
That happened to Greg Hardy. His win got overturned too.
I heard.
He had the inhaler.
Like, weird.
How do you not know you can't use an inhaler?
I don't know. I heard that he got it passed. Like he could.
Yeah,
and then they changed their mind.
He asked like the custodian, "Hey, can I use it?" The guy's like, "All right."
The custodian, like asked the damn popcorn lady.
He asked the guy that sold him the inhaler before the fight, like, "Can I use this? Sure, why not?"
Isn't it crazy? He's had 3 fights in the UFC, and 2 of them have been no contest.
Yeah, because one of them he like punted the guy like illegally.
In the nuts?
No, like the guy's head was on the ground. Like,
Now he's gonna fight Volkov.
Mello.
yeah, I'll give him. He's fighting a guy that Junior Dos Santos pulled out of the fight, right?
Yeah.
And then he's
'cause
stepping in
Oh, he is?
Russia.
Nice.
I mean, this guy's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's thinking I got nothing to lose, or.
Yeah. Oh, he's already in shape. He just fought like with this damn albuterol.
But this level
inhaler.
is way. I mean, he's stepping up.
He's fighting a Russian dude.
He's stepping up 10 levels to fight.
Oh, nice.
6'7".
Yeah, this guy's.
But I feel like heavyweight is a damn lottery. Like heavyweight, those guys, like, it's just a lucky shot to can end the night, I mean, look, I'm not saying that there's not a lot of technique in what the guys are doing, but if you look at it like a 135-pound fight, these guys got to really do their techniques right, and there's like more wiggle room at heavyweight.
Dude, 135. I mean, Roxy fights at one. I like weigh 180, and I was like, this girl was like, I'm like, shit. Thank God we have boxing gloves on, not small gloves, and she didn't know we were going because she's solid,
Yeah.
And then I felt bad because like I posted it, and people were like,
You're beating up a girl?
Yeah, but she was like, no, I actually, no one actually. I mean, she texted me back saying that like the throw I did was actually something that people don't do to her. They circle the other way, and she's like, now I'm gonna use that technique. Like I was like,
yeah, she's a student of the arts.
oh my
Yeah,
God,
she's great.
I didn't even know what I did. I was just like, I don't want this to end up like MMA Roasted getting fucking slammed. Not that that wouldn't happen. So right here, Baby Slice. How many back? Because this is how Baby Slice won. Like all back, come on. Like 1 back to the head, 2 back to the head,
shit.
3 back to. Well, that was to the side. I mean, they really want this kid to win because it's Kimbo's son, and he's not really that. He's 4-2. They kind of threw him in the big leagues really quick. I mean, he's got good strength, but he's got a long way to go as an MMA fighter. If he wasn't Kimbo's son, he'd probably in some way.
I'm pretty sure he trains up there at Body Shop, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He'll figure it out. I mean, but that was a little sketchy. But at the same time, we got to admit, we've seen so many fights where a guy hits the dude in the back of the head. They stop the fight. They call it for the guy who knocked the guy out with the illegal techniques. I mean, it's kind of hard. Like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? Like, outlaw all punches to the head?
Well, when you started fighting, when you first started fighting, everything was legal.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
headbutt the guy, everything.
How many headbutts did you land on people?
A bunch. Yeah, I think I'm dumber for it.
And then Frank Trigg punted you in the head.
Yeah. No, it's just business. Like back then, that was like the normal thing. Called it no holds barred. It was like a regular ass light point. I was like literally training headbutts on a bag on the ground. Like, what the hell?
Did anybody ever tell you not to do this?
Yeah. Yeah, my dad.
Your dad?
You need to go to computer school. You're a goddamn dumbass. I was like, whatever, man. I've got a plan.
Dude, my dad yelled at me from that video I posted of me with Roxy. He's like, you don't have your headgear on.
I don't have your
because I have cauliflower ear. And, like I had surgery on it when I was younger. And he's like, what are you doing? He's like, when's this gonna end? He's like, you're 41 years old. You were exhausted. You obviously didn't want to go. What are you doing? She had her headgear on. That girl was an animal. Like my dad. But now, like I have that. I always have this voice in the back of my head of telling me that I'm doing something wrong.
Like Mufasa.
Or I shouldn't be doing that. Normally he's right. I mean, but then again, it's fun. I mean, this shit is fun.
Yeah,
it's like, it wasn't like, plus I wasn't like, I was like, Roxy, get in here. I thought I was going up to Mike Pyle. By the way,
which isn't any nicer. I mean,
by the way, Mike Pyle. I mean, he lost.
Mike Pyle is great, man. I love that guy.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
And it was nice going with him because he could have just destroyed me.
Yeah, but he worked with you. He's a good coach too.
But a lot of guys aren't like that. They still have something to prove.
Why? On a comedian, a 41-year-old comedian.
It's like me going against middle school kids and like going all out.
Oh, I've seen you, the hip throw of a middle school kid.
But I'm always, that's like, I've never
double-legged the shit out of a middle school kid.
In 13 years of coaching, I've never once hurt a kid while doing an example. Like,
day is young.
I never want to, like, come on. But
you never want, listen, I've seen you snap their heads down pretty hard. I was like, damn, Adam.
Well, yeah, but they're always like laughing with their friends. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Middle school is the best age because their whole lives they're told to knock it off.
Yeah.
And now I'm telling them to roughhouse.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Which is like, imagine that. Like, imagine like your whole life, don't curse. And all of a sudden, like, hey, every word has to be, you're like, this is the greatest class ever,
I remember the moms were there and I was all like on my G-rated behavior. And then the moms left and I was like, thank God. So I could talk how I want to fucking talk. And the little kids like all like smiled, like looked at me like, wow. And then the mom came back and he like ran off the mat like, come on, Mom, leave us alone. And I was like, I just caused that right now. And the kids come back, yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, the kid's mom had like a neck brace.
Poor lady.
No, the grandma.
Yeah, grandma, like her head was just hanging on by a thread.
I gotta say, when I coach, usually
did you snap her head down? Is that what happened?
Latin families are always, that's the thing about being a parent that you realize that, because I try to do as much with my daughter as possible. Like, you think you obviously have to make money and you throw money at your kid and your kid will turn out well.
No.
But it's really the time you spend with them. Because I met so many middle class kids that their parents are with them and they're just the greatest, happiest kids. They don't have the most like nicest clothes, nicest car. And then I've seen super rich parents are divorced.
Bro.
Never showing up.
Bruh.
Kids has the nicest phone, this and that.
Bruh.
Everything, but the kid's just an asshole.
I know.
And
it's a weird thing. I want to blame the parents, but I mean, I got to blame the culture a little bit because we've kind of been indoctrinated to go, oh yeah, cars and clothes and phones and money is the way to make happiness because that's what the TV tells me. So that's what everybody, growing up.
Social media, even worse.
And now, everybody's giving their highlight reel. It's why I'm not really on it too much because it's like difficult to mesh my feelings with the fact that I realize that I'm being indoctrinated by everybody's highlight reel to think that their life is fucking awesome and they don't want to project anything other than that. So that's what I'm seeing. So it's just a big fake universe that they're living on, Well,
so many people though, but when I posted that video of you coaching, were like, oh, so happy to see, like they were like, I mean, granted, it shouldn't take what you went through to people to root for you.
Yeah,
but a lot of people were like,
and I love that. That's we got to admit that's kind of a rare new thing. And if I didn't swing so low and get so much hate on the internet and everything being blown out of proportion, I wouldn't be now reaping this upswing where everybody's happy.
People hate Demetrius Johnson. Like, this fucking guy, who knows why? There are so many people like, oh, I hate that guy. I'm like, why would you hate that person?
I don't know.
Like, I mean, people hate.
Seemed like a gentleman to me.
But like Nickelback, people what did Nickelback ever do
It's
to
kind
anybody?
of a meme. Like people just
of course, but it's like, what the fuck? They're just musicians, or comedians. I mean, Dane Cook, whose sole purpose was to make people laugh. People just shit on this guy.
Well, I think that comes from rumors about him being a dick to people.
But not everybody.
And I've seen it.
I've seen it too. But okay, maybe a bad example. All right, so we're gonna call Sheena Starr right now. She says she's ready. This girl right here. You talk about a character. This girl, she started off her amateur career. I think she was like 3-18 or 3-25 as an amateur. Then went 0-3 as a pro.
Boxer or
MMA. But then has found her calling in bare-knuckle boxing.
Nice.
Single mother of 2. Does truck racing that she builds herself. Wait till you meet this one. This one is
Where's she out of?
She's out of Michigan.
Oh yeah.
And super interesting guy. Like that's the thing about MMA. Like there are so many hidden gems, like the Matt Horwiches of the world.
Oh, I love that guy.
There are a lot of those people out there that you're just like, if you don't look for them, you could miss them.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true.
There's a lot of normal people too, but then there's people like you're just like, huh? Like Tom Galicchio is kind of like that, Toothless Tom. But let's see. So are we? Let me know, Gage, when we get her.
I'll break down the fights this weekend too.
We got to talk about the fight. Yeah, there's a lot of fights coming up this weekend. Obviously the badass. This is your screen. Okay, so texting you now.
Bam.
Yeah. Who do you? By the way, real quick. Nate Diaz, Masvidal. Who wins?
What? Just you want me to just?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm gonna go with my gut that Diaz will eventually wear him down and put something on him. That kind of is. I'm sure the odds makers probably agree with me, huh?
Well, I think that Masvidal, with that flying knee to Askren, I think people are forgetting that, like, he's had some of his other fights didn't go as go as well.
That's always how you build a fight. You got to show some hype. You know, show that this dude is like on a wild streak, and then put crowd favorite Diaz, and there you go. You got a great main event.
But Diaz looked amazing against Pettis.
Yeah. And Diaz has been like consistently improving over his career. Like he keeps getting better, and he just like chips away at his weaknesses, and like he just, I don't know,
except for leg kicks, though he doesn't.
Well, because of the stance, the way that those guys stand, and their reliance on their boxing is, that's the method. He doesn't worry about getting taken down, and he does. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't mind getting kicked in the legs, and I understand why too. Because the day I figured out that it doesn't hurt really to get kicked in the legs.
What?
Yeah,
I took one kick from JoJo.
I know, but some guys it doesn't hurt, and it didn't hurt me. So I would just, and granted, that probably, wore my knees out because I just would ignore the kicks and punch the guy in the face. Nah, because I used to check him, but then once I figured out that I could just walk through him and punch the guy, or walk through him and take him down, then I just started doing that, and that's what Diaz.
But Diaz versus RDA.
Yeah,
I mean he.
Of course,
shit out of that guy.
I know, yeah, but that that's the outlier though. RDA is like one of the best leg kicks in the business. Who's training with kings, so you don't run into those guys too often. So
the
reliance, a lot.
How'd it go?
Great. It depends. When I was fat and out of shape, oh my god, he like dragged me all over the mat. It was hilarious. Like he just but when I'm in shape, it was good sparring, and I really like that guy.
Are you back in jiu-jitsu, by the way?
Not yet, because I had very bad back injuries with my discs back there.
Because he's blasting his ass.
Yeah, I've been focusing on anal blasting recently, so,
So you still got your blue belt, though?
Yeah, blue belt.
Yes.
I'm going to go when the semester's over, so in a couple weeks.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's also very expensive.
And then you got your secondary black belt?
Yeah.
How do you get, how do you been?
Well, I mean, I kind of took a sabbatical, if you want to call it that, to jail, in prison, whatever. But, I got my black belt many years ago, but I really drifted from the world in general. But now I'm back,
But
really
you've been out of jail for 3 weeks. 4 weeks. A month.
Bro, hey, exaggerating face.
But how do you get a second degree in a month?
Well, I believe it's because they realize they show my skills and that what?
So this is the girl right here. So this is Sheena Starr. Sheena.
What's going on?
How are you?
I'm just living the dream, laughing at the fucking jiu-jitsu conversation. How y'all doing?
All right, so we got Mayhem Miller. You know who Mayhem is?
He was my spirit animal for many years.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we have Joe, the Weendawg here.
Hello.
So Sheena Starr, now the last time we saw you, everyone knows you. You became internet famous from wearing a shirt that says Hillary Clinton is a cunt. during your fight.
Yeah.
Now, but you actually knew her, like, or your friend knew her. It wasn't like a political statement, right?
No. She's just a fucking cunt.
Okay, but like, what? Why do you feel this way?
Well, it was fucking stupid, right? So I took that fight on like a week and a half notice, right? Because I'm a fucking savage. So I had this Navy SEAL, like, retired veteran friend of mine that worked her detail, like, back fucking during the Clinton administration. She was just a god-awful cunt to all the people that worked for her. And I'm just like, man, I didn't have time to, like, get sponsors together and a fight shirt and all this other shit. So I just called my t-shirt dude up and be like, hey, I need you to put this on our shirt. And I, like, basically picked it up from the fucking airport on my way, you know, to fly to this bare-knuckle fight. And I just told my friend, I'm like, man, I'm just going to wear this this one's just going to be for y'all, man. And I don't know, I just wore it and that shit blew the fuck up. And I was like,
Now, you said, when's your next bare-knuckle boxing fight?
I'm hoping for February. They got another one coming up this November, but I'm still suspended.
Why are you suspended?
Because I got a TKO my last fight.
Oh, no, wait, when was this?
What? Where have you been? You been under a fucking rock?
Yeah.
I was under...
Talk to me.
Yeah,
Getting his ass whipped.
Talk to me.
Right. The October 19th card in Tampa, that Antonio Bigfoot Silva and Gonzaga show.
Oh, I saw that. I saw the last one. So you got a TKO on that? I'm sorry. So what happened? By the way, you said you were going to wear an
you know
even
what?
better...
Shit happens.
All right. Okay, it happens. But you said...
Well, this is what fucking happened. All right, this is what happened. All right, first, I was beating the brakes off this chick through round one, right? I mean,
Yep.
I was like, face is bloody. I mean, we're bare-knuckle in the shit, right? And I get caught with this overhand, and my eye goes black, and I'm freaking the fuck out, thinking, like, my retina's detached, and my heart races, and then I get a dump, and then, like, I get, like, hit with, like, 2 of these hooks, and then I went to go step back up, my knees are wobbly, and the ref's like, nope, and I lost. So
all right, okay.
Happened.
Well, it's okay. All right, all right, it happens. But now you said you were going to wear an even better shirt. Did you wear a better shirt? What did you wear for this one?
Oh, this one said Mike Vick is a bitch.
All right.
These are very opinionated T-shirts. I like this. Yeah.
Okay, so I take it you're a big dog.
I wanted to put Epstein didn't kill himself, but the FTC.
God damn, she's awesome. Yeah.
Wait, why didn't you get put with that one? How come you did the Epstein one?
Well, we got this thing in America, and they're called the FCC. And it's kind of ran by the Democrats, so I have to, like, go right under the radar what I can get away with on like pay-per-view and shit. Right. Like my banner for this one had me and my other t-shirt, like, fucking middle fingers and shit in the air, and I had to put, like, fucking tape over my shirt on my banner.
Well,
and I got Jason Knight.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's a bummer.
Now, Sheena, I was telling everybody that, like, you started, like, your career as a pro. You were like 3-20 or something, or as an amateur in MMA. Well, but then you said
I was fucking good. I was good in the Amis, but you know nobody gives a fuck about the Amis. No, I was like 23 and like 13 or something fucking stupid. I'm from Michigan, man. We're Midwest fuckers. We used to fight every weekend because we weren't sanctioned. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But right. And then pro, man, I just kept getting wrestle fucked, and I'm not a good grappler. I've been like a blue belt for like 6 fucking years, and I'm not built for that shit. All right, I'm really not. And I mean, that's how you would beat me. I'd be like fucking fighting for underhooks and shit on like shitty MMA cages where the cage is like all bent the fuck, all blowed out, and you know, and then I'm just not a good grappler.
No, listen, I love your fights. I was saying how awesome you're doing, and you're one of the people that you never give up. You're so inspiring. I was not putting you down. I don't care if you were 0 and fucking 100.
Oh, I don't give you shit. You can't put me down. I'm fucking gangsta.
Yeah, no, of course, but your fights are like, they're kind of like World Star Hip Hop fights where you would just run at the person, throwing like fucking all kinds of. It was like Wile E. Coyote, like just like throwing crazy haymakers.
That was only a couple of them.
All right,
that was only when I was like kind of scared of them. You know?
All right. Okay.
And I didn't know. I had some bad coaches.
But you're also a cut person, and then you were also a matchmaker, right? And you also...
I'm doing that right now. I'm fucking matchmaking a car. Dude, I'm going to quit. I hate fighters.
Why? What's going on?
Oh, it's just, I don't know, just dumb shit, man. Like, I need a physical signed by, like, a doctor, right? Like an MD or a DO, and, like, I get people, like, sending me shit signed by their dentist and shit, and I'm like, this fucking just kills me, bro.
But and then you also make mud trucks, right? You're a mud truck racer.
I used to race. That's what I did, you know, because I just like cool shit. That's why I like to fight and stuff. But yeah, no, I build fab shops, so you know, I work on like monster trucks and. You know, we get like I live in Michigan, so we do like the snow rally type, you know, with the Subarus, all-wheel drive Audis and shit, and like, you know, race through like the snow, and we work on those too, and snowmobiles, and you know, I put like fucking nitrous bottles and shit on them, make them go fast or blow up, one of the two.
Ma'am, is this your soulmate here or what?
I mean, she's pretty fucking badass. I mean, I'm telling you, she knows what to do. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know which one of those kids is already mine.
No, so right now you are single. You're a mother of two.
Nice.
Right? Have you been going on any dates lately, or what's going on?
No, because a lot of these men nowadays are pussified.
Yeah.
They are, man. They're like fucking drinking that soy milk and shit, and.
These soy boy cucks. I know what you're talking about.
So what's an ideal date?
Man, it's such a disappointment when you like see a dude and he's got a beard and you know he like fucking dresses like a dude. Then you figure out he's a fucking vegan and drinks Chardonnay. It just like, ruins it.
So what's an ideal date for you?
I don't date. Who dates anymore? Are we still doing that in 2019?
What's the optimal Tinder hookup for you? That's what he's trying to ask.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't even. Oh, Tinder's horrible.
All right, so
no.
So you see a guy like Mayhem, you're like, this is a guy. This is a handsome gentleman just got out of prison. That turns you on, right? So and then what do you want him to take? Like where would you like him to take you?
In the ass, obviously.
Right, there you go. I don't know. Eat some mushrooms and go to church, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Last time it didn't go very well for you.
Yeah, I know. Last time I did mushrooms, I lost a girl in the woods. So just, you know, let's take it easy on the enhancements, okay?
Yeah, she should have. That's her fault. She should have kept up.
Yeah, I agree.
But you're a girl. You like to get thrown against a wall and just passionately made love to. Oh no. Okay.
No, that's like that fucking trailer park shit. We don't do that up there.
Okay, so
she's a high class mudding chick, bro.
So you're a high class.
Yeah, I'm in the Heights, man. I'm in the Heights. I'm in a 70s modular. God damn it, this is not a trailer.
Okay, got it. All right, so now Bare-Knuckle. So now you're 1-1, right?
Yep.
1-1. Do you love it? Do you love it better than MMA?
I do like it better than MMA because I like to fight, and it's like, I don't know, Bare-Knuckle is just, it's me, man. It's like a real fight. It's like a real, and it's better. It's better because it ain't boxing either, because that shit's all fucking crooked and all fucked up, and you know, MMA is cool too. I mean, I'm just built better for it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even get boxing fights, so you know, I gotta like sneak my fucking little white Irish ass in that motherfucker because I can't get no fights, bitch. But,
do you have gold teeth, by the way?
Great.
Do you have gold teeth?
That?
Do you have a gold tooth?
No.
Oh, it looks like you have a gold tooth. All right, no, got it. Okay,
I mean, I know I'm from Flint, but fuck, man.
No. Of course not. All right, so Sheena Starr, she's single. She's looking for a man, a real man.
Is she?
I ain't looking for nobody.
I don't think she is. He's trying to, like, I don't know, matchmake you with somebody.
No.
Like a literal matchmaker.
Here's the thing. I need a guy that's like a fucking badass, because they can't be less badass than I am, or like savage, or like a fucking pussy. Cause,
you know, but it's a very small pool. You're like a pretty badass woman. Like, I mean,
thank you.
You're making me turtle head right now. Honestly, you're such a savage.
And that her brother's gay,
nice.
and her other brother won't leave the house.
Nice.
And then the daughter does bare-knuckle boxing.
Right. Remember that shit?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
So the parents have 3 kids, and they all kind of are like misgendered.
I have family that doesn't even remember that shit.
Yeah.
I had some MMA Roasted remember.
No, I love it.
Yeah,
No,
I'm the fucking son my father never had. I remember he went to my fight, and I got on the microphone and told him, "I'm your sperm, and the son you never had." Look, you son of a...
Wait, you told your father you're his sperm after the fight?
Yeah, I ran on the microphone. That was great.
Oh, nice. There you go.
He thought it was hilarious. I said, "I'm a product of your sperm."
Now, Weendawg was saying that him and his girlfriend, he takes his girlfriend home and likes to finger his own butt while hooking up with his girlfriend. That would be a turnoff for you, right? If a guy started fingering his own butt?
You could just wash his hand afterwards. I mean, whatever you like, man. I mean, I'm not going to fuck you.
And where are you at with the finger blasting? Would you finger blast the guy in the ass?
Those anal blasting.
I mean, would that be like...
if it was a good... I mean, that's like some wifey shit almost.
Nice. You know what? Now I see the threshold.
Right. I mean, does he use a bidet? I mean, ever since I bought Japan,
is he fasting for this? Yeah, these are all solid questions.
So,
I don't know.
So what keeps you going?
Red Bull.
Yeah,
a little bit of nicotine.
But also, I mean, you're so stubborn. You just do not take no for an answer. You're like, fuck it, right? I mean, what drives someone like you?
I mean, it depends on who's telling me no and what it is. Like, sometimes I pick my own battles. I say fuck it, but I don't overly complicate simple shit. So, if I want something, I'm gonna times of doing it. So what? I mean, I'm gonna go back and probably fail the 7th time. But you know what? I just stubborn like that. Hey, you never know. I might get number 8, motherfuckers. If not, hey, I'll see you at fucking 12 down the road. You know what I mean? But
I like it.
It's just I don't let shit knock me. Like I'm done when I'm done. I mean, I don't give a fuck what anybody else says.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen. Well, thank you for. So you're fighting again in February. Are you looking for January, February?
February, because boss man for Bare-Knuckle is getting married in January.
Oh.
I know that poor guy.
All right.
No, he's got an awesome old lady though. They're great. They're great. So
nice.
February. I'm thinking February, which is all the Bare-Knuckles down south. So I mean,
who do you want to fight?
I'm up here in the fucking icebox.
Who do you want to fight in Bare-Knuckle?
Anybody that'll agree to fight. It took me fucking 5 months to get the last one. So.
And then any shirts that we should look up forward to?
I don't even know what's gonna come up next. I just got to see what I can get away with. Obviously, I'm a troublemaker.
Epstein hung out with Trump.
Fucking yeah. Right. Well, he also hung out with Bill Clinton though too. Yeah.
I know. They probably had a pedophile fivesome.
Yeah, it should be like those shirts that are like like Epstein, Trump, Bill Clinton. You know how they have the listings of those shirts. Someone should make those one of those I don't know.
And it was here our business was born.
Well, listen, Sheena Starr, how can people follow you? Where can people find you?
I'm really just on Facebook, Sheena Starr on Facebook, and Sheena Puma Starr. I mean, I used to use Twitter, but that shit gives me a fucking headache. And I mean, I'll go on Instagram every now and then, but I can't keep up with all that shit. So
yeah, and then don't send her dick pics. How many dick pics did you get after the whole Hillary Clinton is a cunt?
I didn't get any. I just got a bunch of liberal fucking whiny bitches saying I'm degrading women. I'm like, have you guys ever been to fucking Europe? Like, holy shit, man. That's their daily word over there. I just told them to put on their pussy hats and they'll fucking get over it,
Yeah.
All right. Sheena Starr, you're awesome. We're going to talk to you soon. Thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, man, anytime. I'm fucking always fun. Always good to have you.
Oh, great to have you.
All right, man.
Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right. That was...
Bye.
Bye.
She's one of a kind.
Isn't she?
Oh, my God.
Nah,
still here.
She's I'm pretty stoked about that interview.
Would you go on a date? Would you go on a date with Sheena?
No, right? I mean, if she would beat the shit out of me, I think. I mean, I just couldn't stop myself from saying snarky comments, and if she would be a savage on me. I could see she got a snap temper.
Yeah. Have you been on any new dates in the last couple?
Sort of.
I heard of one, but I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
No problem. No problem.
I mean, it's just friends hanging out.
Of course, that's what all she said was, I hung out with your friend, LOL. That's all. I didn't ask how it went or anything because I was like.
Well, I mean, what? Did you ass blast him?
No, I didn't. Well, the thing was like, I didn't want to like, I'm like, that's, I was like, I don't know how to go. Tell me more. Like, what was this?
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Yeah, did you
put up a fight?
Right. This is what is Grease? So,
I think so. I greased it up, all right.
So, all right. So, real quick, we're going to talk about fights real quick because I know you have to go to Ellis real soon.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about this week. We have that. We have Kelvin Gastelum versus Darren Till.
Jesus Christ. It's a good fight.
Jesus Christ is going to win that one?
Who do you like in that one?
Look, to be honest with you, I don't know enough about the one guy to give an honest opinion.
Well, Kelvin Gastelum's a guy who went 5 rounds with Israel Adesanya. It was a back-and-forth fight. Yeah. He beat Jack Ellenberger. He knocked out Michael Bisping. He's a guy that went on the Ultimate Fighter at 170. Was the last pick. Beat Uriah Hall in the finals. Was a state champion wrestler.
He sounds like a damn specimen, but I don't. I haven't watched the fight.
Missed weight 6 times, so they bumped him up. Darren Till's a guy.
He's fighting at 205 now.
No, 185. Darren Till's a guy that everyone was saying was the next big thing because he beat Cowboy. He knocked out someone else, and then had a wake-up call.
That's a lighter weight fight, though.
He had a wake-up call against Tyron Woodley.
Okay.
And then got knocked out again by Masvidal.
Yeah, but see, these are like apples and oranges. It's hard to compare A beats B. That doesn't mean that
right,
B
of course.
C, right?
Well, see, wrestling seems to be his weakness, but Kelvin uses wrestling all the time.
Yeah.
So
I can't give an educated opinion. I don't want to mislead your viewers.
All right. Also, Gregory Gillespie, who's 13-0, national champion, amazing wrestler, beat our guy Vince Pichel, is fighting Kevin Lee, who's on he needs a win because he lost to RDA. Then he lost to, what's the name before that? Ali Akinta. But he switched his training camp, went up to TriStar, training with GSP for this fight. Gillespie is a guy that, no one knows because
he's a homeless guy.
He
lives in the sewers of New York.
He doesn't live in the sewers, but he, fishes during the day and does no media, none of that. But he's a guy that they're saying could be the next big thing.
I think he's going to win.
Who's
saying?
He's
going to beat Kevin?
Everyone who knows because he's such a good wrestler, national champion.
Okay.
But just doesn't talk.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kevin Lee wouldn't stop talking.
Awesome.
But
I know Kevin Lee. Who's he training with now? Because I think
GSP.
That's great. That's a good.
Yeah, because
that's a good fit for him. Because before, when he was training with Dewey Cooper, I think he was trying to be a kickboxer, but why?
Or boxer.
Yeah, but why?
He's training with Mayweather and stuff.
I know, but why? You're an excellent wrestler. The fight I remember, the fight we talked about, he didn't use his wrestling at all, and I was like, "What the hell? Why are you gonna throw away?" There's a line to dance. When you're a great wrestler, do you use some of your wrestling and make your kickboxing complement it, or do you just throw your wrestling away and become a kickboxer? That's the mistake that many great wrestlers have made.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Maybe because they know how strenuous wrestling is, and you're like,
that's true. Yeah, that's true. And plus, when you're hitting pads all the time, suddenly you just forget about.
It seemed like
wrestling.
Hendo kind of fell in love with his right hand.
Yeah, well, no, he always was. He was a baseball pitcher when he was in high school.
Oh,
so it's the same motion that he was doing.
I didn't know.
So yeah. So that's what he does. He throw that giant right hand all the time, and then he figured out that the inside kick to the left leg was like a wind up for a right hand.
I always ask people, how do I throw that Hendo right? And finally, Pyle gave me the best, closest I've ever come to it. Yeah. But it's also kind of like an aberration, right?
It's because you have to shift your weight. You have to go shift your weight to your back foot, kick on the inside thigh, and then wind up, and it's a baseball pitch.
I didn't even notice he was throwing the kick before that.
Yeah, and he wouldn't even throw the kick hard. It was just like a little tap, and then but we're getting distracted. So, Kevin Lee versus I don't know. Again, I don't know.
I'm picking Gillespie. Unfortunately, I like Kevin Lee, but it's in New York. This kid just.
I think that switching in the training camp might help out Kevin Lee a lot because there's not many more physically talented guys, and I think he has some mental toughness too. But that last fight we talked about, I think he just threw his wrestling away, and being with St. Pierre's camp, I don't think he's going to do that again.
Also on this card, there's Derek Lewis is fighting. He's the guy that said my balls is hot. the huge black guy that like wins every fight with like 10 seconds left until he fought Daniel Cormier, who beat him. But he was the guy that was like, my balls is hot, and then he was like, Ronda, he's like, where your fine ass at?
I remember.
And then he was eating ribs before one of his fights, and then tried to almost threw up during a fight. Like
perfect.
Yeah. So he's fighting Sergey Ivanov or Blagoy Ivanov, who's 18-2. I don't know much about him. Stephen Thompson's fighting Vicente Luque.
Oh, that'd be interesting, yeah.
Corey Anderson, Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker's saying the next big thing. He's a guy that this dude just kills everybody. He's 17-3. He's just been murdering people. He's like this but his last fight he was breakdancing after he won, and then
injured himself.
Yeah, injured himself doing the worm. He's fighting Corey Anderson. Corey's talking a lot of shit to John Jones, but he's got to get past Johnny Walker, this guy is 6'5", 205 pounds.
Yeah.
And then Shane Burgos is fighting Amir. I like Walker in that fight. You?
Yeah, me too.
He's fighting Makwan Amerikani, who they call him Mr. Finland. He's having a tough time. I think his parents are Kurds, and you don't know what's going on with the Kurds right now. But he's fighting Shane Burgos, who's also a good fighter. Amir Khan came on the podcast, got a blowjob while doing the interview with us. Like we heard the girl go
from him.
No, not from Joe. Joe was fingering his butt while the was going on. And then Edmund Shabazan, who's with Coach Edmund, who's actually doing well. He's 10-0, fighting Brad Tavares. That's going to be a good fight, too, from Hawaii. Then there's a bunch of other guys.
I think it's an easy card to bet on, too. So make a bet.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever won?
No.
Okay, all right. So, Joe, what do you have coming up?
Go listen to my new episode of the Creepy Town Podcast. It's on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Spotify. Go follow Creepy Town Podcast on Instagram. That's it, dude.
And what do you have coming up?
Shit, I got to go to Ellis right now, do a damn serious show.
Yes.
I'm just, building back up.
Doing great, man.
Thanks, bud.
I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud to be your friend.
Proud of you, man. Look at this. You got a damn whole nice studio at SpeedWeed Studios. Oh, my God.
Well, listen,
Yeah, it's coming together, bro.
I'm so happy we're friends. So you can see me this Friday night, The Dirty, at 12:30 at the South Point Casino. And then in December, that fight week. Oh, actually, November 20th, I'll be at the Miami Improv. The 21st, 22nd in Key West at a comedy club. I don't know the name of it. It's on AdamHunter.com. And also, you could see me that fight week, the week of Colby Covington versus Usman. I'll be at the Strat all that week. Download my Amazon Prime special called Adam Hunter Still Broke. And thank you guys so much. And guys, if anybody wants to see Pinned, okay, DM me. I'll send you a copy because
hell yeah,
I'm good like that.
You need me to babysit tonight?
Maybe. I'll definitely hit you up. All right, thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye-bye.